All right, I am live. Good morning, and welcome to my channel, Inviting Possibilities. My name is Rochelle, and I am doing a reading today for the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And I am just going to do it's a general reading, meaning that it may not necessarily resonate with you. If it doesn't, check your other signs, your sun, rising, and moon signs, if they are not one of these air signs. And if you don't know what those are, I have left a link in the description box below for two different sites that you can get your birth chart at, and kind of fill in more of that story. But also, this is not time specific. This is for whenever you need this. And in tarot, in the oracle world, time is very fluid. And it's my intention that this is coming to you when you need it, whether that's today or a year from now. So what else? There's always a list of things to remember. I apologize for any weirdness in this video. Glitchy things happen, parts cut out, the audio and video end up off. It is just because my Wi-Fi is not good, and just bear with me. Usually it's not too bad. And okay. I am started with choosing cards from Wisdom of the Oracle, Colette Baron Reed, and I've chosen 3 cards in advance to just kind of give me the basic storyline, and then I'm going to clarify with the Good Tarot, also by Colette. All right, here we go. Let us begin. All right, so your first card is Unfinished Symphony. So you are in some kind of situation that is calling you to tie up loose ends. In some way, I had all these ideas and things I wanted to say, and suddenly my mind just went blank, and I'm just like, wait, what? So before you can move forward into the next phase in your life, you got to finish up whatever you're dealing with right now. You're coming to the end of a cycle in your life, a pretty big one. And this egg kind of represents what is to come, what is going to hatch and begin the new cycle for you. But before that can happen, you gotta kind of take stock of where you are. It's kind of calling you to have radical acceptance of whatever situation you are in your life right now, whatever the circumstances are, to just take stock, kind of think about what it was that brought you to this point. Because something is ending, you need to be able to have closure in order to really truly move on. And that's a part of the healing. And if we don't heal, then moving on doesn't truly happen. In the example of a relationship, yes, maybe a relationship ends and then you move on to another one. But if you haven't truly taken stock of, kind of your part in things, the lessons that you have gotten from that situation, even if you move into a new relationship, you're just going to end up creating the same thing as what you had before. Um, and so to just make sure that you are just really, really getting clear within yourself about how you got to this place. What were the steps that brought you there? How did you contribute? And how might you do things differently in the future? And then by doing that, then you can end the symphony on a high note, is what the book says, and truly be able to move on in a positive way, and be able to have things closed out and leave it behind. And how you know that things are truly healed and closed out is that when you think, say again, we're talking about a relationship, when you think of that person, there's no emotional charge. It's just like, oh yes, this person was a part of my life. I learned all these things from them, and I appreciate that I needed them in my life to help get me where I am. And then now it's time to be done with that. And as long as we're still thinking about, well, this person did this thing to me and they really suck, and I really hope that they get their karma, and like that anger, that resentment, that bitterness is the indicator that you haven't healed yet, that you still need to work on taking responsibility for your part and acknowledging that there was a reason they needed to be there in your life for that period of time in that situation, and take the lesson and then move on, and kind of bless them. It's like blessing the past and moving forward. Your next card is flexible. And this is about being flexible, being open-minded. Being open to new things, and while still being grounded in who you are at the core. So the book talks about sort of like a tree, where trees typically are very rooted in the ground. But when a big storm comes up, they're flexible. They can sway in the wind, and generally not be too terribly affected by the storm. And then it passes and they're still there. They're still rooted. And so it's learning to be more adaptable, more flexible with whatever is coming towards you. And the thing about this card is it also has an egg. So twice you've got these eggs, which to me talk about it's fertility. It's the something is going to hatch out of these eggs. And in order for that to happen, you gotta heal, and you gotta be open to new things, new ideas, new concepts. And maybe by being flexible, it's allowing you to tie things up, tie up the past, knowing that, well, like I said, that whatever you're in happened for a reason, and it's for your benefit ultimately, and it's for your growth. And you have learned or are learning something about this situation that is giving you a new perspective. And that perspective shift, when you can embrace it and and really be like, oh, okay, I hadn't thought about, maybe it's a long held belief that you start to realize that isn't relevant anymore, doesn't work for you. And it's learning to open yourself to new beliefs, new ideas, new values. Your final card is Come to the Edge, and it was in the protection position. It was reversed. And what's interesting about this card is that the message is so similar to the last reading I did for you. And it talks about how some belief that you have is very rooted in fear. And it's causing you to kind of take that fear and run with it. You are thinking of all of the worst case scenarios. You are allowing yourself to just soak in the fear, and when you're soaking in something, like, you soak it up. And the thing about fear is it's false evidence appearing real. It's an illusion. It's based on, things that have happened in the past. And this part of us that has this fear, it wants to protect us. It wants to protect you. And it's saying, you know, you need to do this thing, or you need to not do this thing, because you're going to get hurt again like you did last time. But it's not necessarily true. In fact, most of the time, it's not true at all. It's when we buy into the fear that then we create the self-fulfilling prophecy, because we're putting that energy out there and we're like, I'm afraid this is going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then that's what you get back. It's the law of attraction, which, when we're in fear, it activates our feelings, and the feelings are what draw things to us. It's how we manifest everything into our life, and we are constantly manifesting. And so it's really important to become conscious of how you're feeling. And if you're really caught up in some kind of fear, some kind of negative self-talk, the worst case scenario, you kind of talk to that part of yourself that is feeding you this narrative, and you say thank you for wanting to keep me safe, and give it love, embrace it, appreciate it, because it is there to help. But at this point, it's not helping anymore. It's working against you. And so you say to that part, thank you, but I'm in charge, and I'm going to move forward in the direction that I know is best for us. And as you move forward, as you take those steps, you are proving to this part of yourself, which is very often the scared child within us. You're proving that it is okay, that it doesn't need to be so afraid. And when we first start to deal with this part of ourselves, if we haven't really done that work before, we can meet a lot of resistance because it's used to running the show. It's used to feeding the fear and being like, you got to listen, and you've been listening, and it's not working for you anymore. And it hasn't worked for you. So often these things come from our childhood, which maybe in childhood, it helped us to get through times when we weren't in control. That's the thing about childhood, is so much of it is you're not in control of yourself and your world, and you have to do what other people say. You're kind of you're I can't think of the way to put it, but it's it's there for a reason. But then at a certain point, as you grow into adulthood and you come into, more understanding and learning about, what things are actually about, you start to realize that those ideas, those beliefs, aren't necessarily relevant anymore, aren't true for who you are now and where you are in life. And again, can hold you back from really stepping into your greatness and really opening up to these big things that are our birthright, that are meant for us. So it's about, opening up and being flexible, being open-minded to new ideas and new ways of thinking and new ways of being. So I'm going to clarify a little bit with my good tarot, and I've already shuffled the cards. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose this one. 10 of Earth. This is beautiful. This is one of the best cards in the deck. This speaks to fulfillment in all the areas of your life. Fulfillment in relationships, fulfillment in your financial situation, fulfillment in your just general like how you feel, that you're excited to wake up in the morning, and you have stuff going on. It's the ultimate achievement. I'm going to read what it says because that can help. It always helps me fill in the story a little bit better. Affluence, material abundance, mastery. Yeah. So as you move, you're mastering something, you're closing up these old cycles. And it's mastery that's going to lead you into, again, these eggs, that's going to lead you into what's about to hatch, that's going to give you what you need to move into this next cycle in your life. Financial security, inherited wealth, and knowledge. So you are learning a lot from the situation that you are in. And there's a gift in it. In every situation that we experience in our lives, there's always a gift. Even no matter how painful and awful the situation may seem, at some point, there's a place that you can potentially come to if you're really doing the work and doing the healing, doing the self-reflection, where you realize what that situation was all about ultimately, what you were supposed to get out of it, so that you could, again, step forward, move into the new situation, move into the new chapter, or even the new book of your life. See, and it goes from being upside down to being upright, where she's coming to the edge. She's ready to leap. She's ready to jump off the edge into the unknown and embrace the unknown, because this is what's in the unknown. There's so much for you. And so to step out of the fear of what might happen and step into, thinking about the positive. Well, if I'm feeling really bad about the worst case scenario, what is the best case scenario? And then you want to spend time in that place, cultivate the feelings, really allow yourself to try and experience, even just for a few minutes every day, just getting your 5 senses involved in the visualization and allowing that to bring up the feeling of what it would be like to actually be in that place. And that is what will boost you into the next, again, the next phase, the next chapter, wherever you're headed next, the next cycle. Yeah, particularly those feelings. So important. 4 of Fire. Ooh, I don't think I've picked this one before. In fact, I'm certain I haven't. She's playing the flute. She looks pretty darn happy to me. What's happening with the 4 of Fire? A new creative phase. Yes. Celebration, pleasure, and harmony in relationships. So be flexible, be adaptable. Don't buy into the fear. And that is going to, once you face that fear, once you make it your friend and your ally, that part of you that is feeding the fear, then you can step to the edge and leap into the unknown, which is bringing you all of the amazing things that life has to offer. It's incredible. A new creative phase. Yeah. And celebration, pleasure and harmony in relationships. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. There's so much to look forward to. You're getting the call. You're getting the call from the universe. Major arcana, by the way. This is a long-lasting energy. This is big. What you are moving into. Doing the work, healing, is allowing you to move into this next phase. And the universe is like, now is the time. Now is the time. There's no other time but now. Now is the only true reality. Purpose and true prosperity. This is big. Oh my gosh. Your last 2 readings specifically are so empowering. So you're going through a process. You're having to finish something out. 2 readings ago, it was about, it spoke to letting go of a relationship, like going through something probably pretty painful, but coming out of that, coming to the other side of that, big, amazing things are coming to you. You're calling them in. and you're getting the call to do the work now. And that's, the faster you can just own everything that has happened in your life up to this point, because you are the common denominator in your life. When you own your part of things, then, it tells you, it's sort of an indication, or an indication to your subconscious. And again, to that scared little child inside, that you're not a victim anymore, that you have the power to create lasting changes. Yeah, the big things. Oh my gosh. And I'm going to read this. Oh my God. It's so beautiful. So many of these cards, they have wings. Like, this is, you are being supported by the universe in a major way. It says, I have everything I need right now to move forward with purpose. I'm being called into a deeper and more authentic relationship with myself, with my higher power, and with others. I am here for a reason. Yes, you are here for a reason. There's nobody else like you in the world. You are bringing something that nobody else can. And that is what makes you unique and so special. I'm required to step forward into my true self, expressing that through my actions. I need to trust that my life has a purpose, that I am enough, and that within me is a divine blueprint that has meaning for myself and others. Yeah, and especially when you're in this place of the unfinished symphony, when you still have healing to do, when you're still trying to, figure this stuff out, you're still in the place of feeling victimized, feeling so much pain. It can be hard to see beyond that, to see outside of that. And yet, this is saying that you need to have faith and trust that you have what it takes to move into the new phase. You are being called to move into the new phase, and to know that there is a purpose to all of this. You are growing, you are learning from this situation that you're in, and it's moving you into your most authentic, amazing self. It's the ultimate empowerment. Awesome. You go. This I don't know. These messages for you in particular are like a little bit of effort and a lot of reward. Do the work. It doesn't require a whole lot. Don't believe the stories. Don't believe the fear anymore. It's not relevant. It's not true for you. You have big things to do. You tell that part. I'm taking you places. We're going to go places, and it's going to be awesome. Yes. All right. Thank you so much for being here with me. As always, this has been so fun, and I am so grateful for you. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of tomorrow, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you on the next video. And like and subscribe.